Welcome back. My name is Teresa and I'm very much alive. And if you're new here, welcome. I have an awful, garbage, filthy mouth where sometimes, just sometimes, I tend to use the word fuck as a comma. I know it's pretty disgusting. Now, if you're not into that or weird stuff in general, this is not the place for you, baby. Feel free to exit the video here. No harm, no foul. But I'll remember our time fondly. If you want to jump straight to the overall review of the products, I'll leave a time code down below. Feel free to jump ahead. So I had to go to the doctor yesterday to figure out what is going on with my wrist. As you guys know, I have been struggle busting the last few videos where I had like a little, baby arm brace, and I just needed to have some answers because it just hasn't been getting any better. So as someone who lives in New York City where Corona is pretty much running rampant, let's just say that the city is an interesting place. So I head to my doctor's office, and my doctor is actually on the Upper East Side. And if you're not familiar with the Upper East Side, it's a very hoity-toity neighborhood where they literally just talk like this. And it's just basically a bunch of rich old people walking their dogs in their little Burberry coats, and you know for a fact that the dog has a better credit score than you do. But I digress, Fluffy. I digress. Now, the streets have been oddly and eerily quiet. It's actually kind of spooky. Especially in a city like New York where literally nobody sleeps. Ever. So I go to my doctor's appointment, and as soon as I get into the office, I'm greeted by a woman that's wearing a hazmat suit. Pretty much. She gives me an iPad and asks me to answer all the questions. Now, I shit you not. This questionnaire asked me 12 times in 12 different ways if I traveled abroad. I was answering the questions so much that I actually started to doubt myself. Maybe I did travel. Where the fuck was I last week? I do love pasta. Was I in Italy? You see what I mean? I literally had to answer that question so many times that it was a mind fuck, and it kept making me think that I actually traveled. Really, really terrifying. Anyway, so after I answered the questions and I handed back the iPad to the deep sea diver sitting in reception, I was called for my appointment. Now, this is a new doctor for me. I've never met him before, and I was actually kind of nervous trying to find the right person to go look at my wrist. I want to make sure that I find the best of the best of the best of the best of the best, because I'm that kind of bitch. So I found this guy, but I was still very nervous because he doesn't know me, and it's always like the worst going to meet a new doctor. But I read a lot of good things about him, so it was very, very hopeful. First of all, this man walked in and he looked like Biff from Back to the Future. Not Biff from Back to the Future, but the actor who played him. I think his name was Tom Wilson. I think that's his name. If I'm right, I was right. Anyway, he looked like him now. So this, right? But immediately all I see is fucking Biff from Back to the Future. Uncanny. I almost thought I was being punked because I was like, are you Biff? Are you Biff? Okay, anyway. So he walks into the room, he's about to shake my hand, and he goes,
probably shouldn't do that. Air shake?
And so we air shook hands. Then he proceeds to put on 2 pairs of gloves and just poke at my hands. Now, he asked me what happened, how long this has been going on for, and just the usual bullshit doctor questions. He then asked me what I do for a living, and then he finally just dropped the bomb and was like,
how are you doing with the Corona situation?
And, I was candid with him. I said, you know what? Yes, I'm a little worried, but all I can do is just continue to practice good hygiene and just be aware of my surroundings and just hope for the best. That's literally all I can do. So he starts to nod, and then he says,
it's kind of weird. There's hardly anyone in the city anymore.
Yeah, I was actually noticing that when I was coming to the office. Like, it's pretty empty up here. It looks like everybody's waiting inside for this thing to blow over.
Yeah, it's weird. When you do see people, they're just acting weird.
Oh, bitch. Can I tell you a story or two, Biff Tannen? So of course this piques my interest, and I say, well, what do you mean? What do you see that's so weird? If you only knew the shit that I see on a day-to-day basis.
Well, this morning I was walking to work, and there was a man on the corner. He was eating a Kit Kat bar like a harmonica. I know, it doesn't sound weird, but have you ever seen someone do that before?
No. No. No, can't say that I have, no. He then looks me dead in the face, does not blink when he says the following.
But let me tell you, it will be the most unsettling thing you see at 6:30 in the morning.
he then proceeds to tell me that it could potentially be a really bad case of tendonitis. So he wants me to get an MRI, but he also wants me to get a new brace because the brace that I was using just wasn't that good, and he feels like this is gonna give me more stability. So unfortunately, with my insurance and, you know, just the healthcare system being a fucking joke and all, I can't schedule my MRI for the same day, so great. But I can pick up my nifty fucking splint. So he tells me,
you know, the splint, I don't have it here. You're gonna have to go to the hospital to get it.
the last place you wanna be is a fucking hospital right now, but great. So Biff was like,
you don't have to go outside. You could technically take the underground tunnels to get to the hospital.
well, babies, I'm always up for a fucking adventure. So I said, sure, just make me a map. And he did. He actually made me a fucking map. Now, there was hardly anyone, and I mean anyone, in these fucking tunnels, okay? It was like I was living my very own Resident Evil fantasy. Now, this hallway actually had a slew of doors on either side. It was literally straight out of a horror movie. And at one point, one of the doors finally opened up and some man stepped out of it, tearing the ever-loving shit out of me. So all I did was immediately scream in their face. Yeah, I was not making any friends down this hallway. It took me 2 wrong turns, defeating a treasure goblin, and 10 more minutes later until I finally made it to the fucking hospital. And then I still had to go another 10 minutes to try to figure out where the fuck this splint place was. When I got to the place, it was actually pretty cool because all these pieces are custom made. They take a piece of plastic, they mold it to your arm, they put it into some hot water. It's some crazy ass fucking shit, but it was really cool to watch. Anyway, the woman that was helping me out was actually an English woman, and I loved the shit out of her accent. So the first thing she says to me,
so Theresa, we're gonna make 2 really important decisions today.
okay,
What color brace do you want? Do you want a white one or black one?
obviously black like my soul.
I see you're English.
I love her already. She then asked me what color my Velcros should be, and I was like, yellow. So then the rest of the time she proceeded to call me Bumblebee, which I thought was adorable. Now my favorite part is actually when another woman walked up to me who also worked in this little splint center or whatever the fuck it was called. Says,
Did you happen to see the older woman that I was helping?
yeah, I noticed she was staring at me.
Oh yeah, she was staring at you because she kept commenting on how lovely your skin looks.
Oh, bitch. And here I thought this old woman was staring at me because I was fat. Oh, no, no, no. She was staring at me because of my beautiful complexion. Can I tell you, when someone compliments me, bitch, my head gets so fucking big. Surprised my head even fits through the goddamn fucking doors. Flattery will get you everywhere. Just remember that. So, of course, the whole time I'm like, like my skin, look at that, so good. Yeah, I was that obnoxious, yeah. My lovely English queen, without skipping a beat, said the following.
Oh, that older woman is either the sweetest lady or a serial killer. And if I happen to see your face in the paper, then I'll know who she really is.
I love her. I wanted to be like, can you just hang out with me all the time? Can we just be friends? Like, where have you fucking been all my life? Like, goddamn. I love when people are like that. I feel like I never experienced people just trying to have a good time at work, and I fucking love that so much. Anyway, this bitch had me dying. I loved her. Oh my god, I loved her so much. So anyway, she hooked me up with this really cool fucking splint. Her name is Lucy. I told Lucy I have a YouTube channel, so Lucy, if you do see this, if you happen to remember this, hi Lucy, I love you. But yeah, she hooked me up with this really cool splint. Love it. Anyway, so as I get my splint, I'm on my merry way. I leave the hospital and head back to my shitty job, and of course, what is the first thing I see outside? A man furiously eating a Kit Kat like a harmonica. And you know what? Even at 3 p.m. in the afternoon, it's one of the most unsettling things I've ever seen in my fucking life. Biff was right. In today's video, we're going to be talking about a bunch of different products. The first one being the Tatcha, the liquid silk canvas, Revlon SkinLights highlighter. I have the whole Etude House Hershey's whatever collection, Beauty Blender concealer, and last but not least, the bougiest of them all, the new Gucci mascara, because you know, I'm basically coming from Michelle Wong's gig, so might as well throw some fucking luxury in here, right? Without further ado, let's talk about Tatcha first. So this is called the Liquid Silk Canvas Featherweight Protective Primer. I had to pull that up on my phone because it's a fucking mouthful. So this little boy retails for $52 and it comes in this beautiful packaging. Now for the rest of the video, I'm gonna put this down because as you can see, I have an exoskeleton now. So we're gonna fucking leave that down there before I drop it on the floor and cry that I can't pick it up. Anyway, I personally love the packaging on this little guy. It's very sleek and I love that it has a pump. Honestly, one of the biggest complaints that I have with the Tatcha Silk Canvas is this little guy here. And if you don't have that weird rounded Coke spoon, you wind up using a lot of product and ultimately just being wasteful. Now, I love the original Silk Canvas. It's hands down one of my favorite primers of all time. So when I heard this was being released, I literally lost my goddamn mind because I wanted this to work so fucking badly. And I love that Tatcha Silk Canvas so much. I think I've gone through maybe 3 or 4 of them since discovering. Like, I fucking use that shit every goddamn day. With that said, I'm happy to report that the liquid silk canvas is pretty much exactly the same as the regular putty version, with the exception of the following things. The liquid primer feels lighter and it feels weightless to the skin compared to the putty form. Sometimes with the putty primer, I notice that I can kind of get some sort of like weird white cast, almost very Casper-like. I noticed with the liquid version, I don't get a cast. But the biggest difference for me between the liquid versus the putty is hydration. Now, the original Silk Canvas doesn't really offer a lot of hydration. If anything, it just makes your skin feel very smooth, but ultimately matte. And for someone like myself that has normal to dry skin, I can't really use it on its own. I can, but I prefer to actually make a primer cocktail. So what I like to use is the Fenty Hydrating Primer first, then I put a little bit of the Tatcha Silk Canvas around my cheeks. And it's the one primer duo that I absolutely fucking love. Every time I do it, my makeup looks fucking flawless. It lasts all day. I'm beyond obsessed with it. The fact that I saw that I can get a little bit of hydration with the liquid one makes my makeup kick so fucking hard, you have no fucking idea. I find out with the liquid version, my skin looks noticeably hydrated. And dare I say, I don't feel like I need to do a primer duo anymore. Now don't get me wrong, I'm still a bougie ass bitch, so I'm probably gonna still use Fenty Hydrating Primer because I love the shit out of that primer. But it's really nice to know that someone like me who has normal to dry skin, a little bit on the drier side right now because we're kind of like in between seasons, that I can actually get away with using one primer instead of 2, ultimately saving me some fucking money. So that's fucking great. So honestly, once I'm done with the putty version, which I think I still have about half the product left, I'm never gonna buy that again. I'm always just gonna stick to the liquid one because fuck it. It literally works exactly the same except it gives me hydration. If I could do a fucking backflip right now, I would. That's how much I fucking love this thing. It's so good. Long story short, I fucking love this thing, and if you were worried that this would be different from the original, rest assured, it's exactly the same, if not better. So I'm very happy to have this in my collection. I love you, Tatcha.
I love your money.
Thank you. So the next product we're going to be talking about is the Beauty Blender Bounce Airbrush Liquid Whip Concealer. The fuck? Is your foundation the same fucking name? I know it's Bounce, but Liquid Whip Long Wear. Okay. All right, basically it's the longest name fucking possible. So this concealer right here retails for about $26 and it comes in 40 shades. Now this concealer is considered full coverage, but with a natural finish and good for all skin types. Now I love the foundation so much, and it's actually probably one of my favorite foundations of all time. So I was beyond excited to hear that a concealer was coming out, and I was really hopeful that this concealer was going to be exactly the same as the foundation. I just felt it in my gut. Now I love the packaging on this little guy. I love the doe foot. It looks like a baby beauty blender cut in half. It looks adorable. I love that the applicator is really soft and you actually get a lot of product with that little teeny tiny sponge. Now I got it in the shade 1.20 because that is what my foundation is in. And honestly, I didn't know a lot about this product. I didn't really read about it or anything, so I just kind of assumed Fenty's rules. And when I say that, I mean when Fenty came out with their foundations and then their concealers, they made it a big deal to say, hey, if you are shade 140, you get the shade 140 in concealer. It's gonna be a perfect match. So that's what I did. That's what I thought. I was like, you know what? That makes sense. In hindsight, I probably could have got a couple of shades up because this was really light. But whatever, fuck it, who cares? It still works. Now I've been playing with this concealer since it has launched. I bought it on the first day that it came out. So I've been playing with it for a little bit now. And at first I loved it. I was like, this is really fucking good. And then it's like, I don't know, like the honeymoon period was over and I was like, who the fuck did I marry? And it sucks because I was really rooting for this to work, but it's just, I don't know, man. It's just, not good. If you like the foundations, fucking steer clear from this shit. Like I mentioned before, this concealer is considered full coverage, and I think initially when applied, yes, the bitch is full coverage. But it starts to wear down very fucking quickly. Regardless if you set the area or not, this shit fucking starts to wear down. By hour 3, I have noticeable dark circles under my eye. And it starts to look dry, and the concealer starts to separate. Now this concealer is supposed to be hydrating. No, it has a little bit of a natural finish that kind of matches use the foundation. However, at a certain point, there is no fucking hydration in this shit. The concealer settles into my fine lines rather quickly. Throughout the course of the day, the concealer just keeps settling into my lines where people start to ask me if I have children. And they know I don't. I feel like there are two things that I like about this concealer. One, that even though the formula is on the thicker side, it definitely feels weightless, which is really nice. And ultimately, it is a brightening concealer. So when I first apply it, god damn, it's fucking stark white. So it definitely achieves that. And that is it. That is all the good things I can say about this concealer. Again, it sucks because I love the foundation and it's not the same. Of course, I'm going to use this until it's up because after all, it's 26 bucks, but I will never repurchase this again. I don't have any need to. It's just not that good. So if you were interested in checking this out, proceed with caution. So the next product I want to talk about is the Revlon SkinLights Prismatic Highlighter. And I have it in the shade 202 Twilight Gleam. So this highlighter retails for about $11.99 and it comes in 3 different shades. The packaging is very drugstore with the exception of the pan design. And it reminds me of like the Amarizi highlighter by ABH. I wouldn't say this is an exact dupe for the product because I still actually feel that both products look differently and feel differently. But I will say that they're kind of in the same family. So think of this as like the second cousin to the Amarizi highlighter. This being my first Revlon highlighter, I was pleasantly surprised. This is fucking great. I love the shit out of the quality of it. However, my biggest complaint is the shades because there are 3 shades in this. Obviously I can't use the darkest shade, but between the first 2 shades, it's almost impossible to tell them apart. So I ultimately went with 202 because it just seemed to be like, I don't know, it looked like more on the pinkier side. It looked to be a little bit more on the fairer side, but in reality, seeing it online and seeing it in person, it's fucking impossible to tell them apart. And I think right now, like my highlighter, like it looks really good from the side. I know it's too dark for me as if I put it on like the bridge of my nose, it's a noticeable bronze color. It kind of reminds me of like the Smoky Glow one in that way. But it looks really good with bronzer and blush. Like it looks like it melts into the skin perfectly. So it kind of gives me like that nice slutty glow. But if I was wearing it on its own, you can noticeably tell that it is too dark for me. So with that said, I think I'm gonna go back and grab the one that is probably better suited for me, even though it didn't look like it was. I don't know. That's probably my biggest complaint about the fucking highlighter. It's great, but it's like, I don't know, the shades are just a little bit fucked up for me. Anyway, I love the quality of this. I love the feel of it. The longevity is perfect. It lasts for a really long fucking time. It looks so nice and wet on your skin without it being overly glittery. I don't know, it's just like that, you know, wet, hot alien slut. Drugstore edition. It's great. The last thing I want to note though about this product, even though I fucking love it, I think the price point's a little fucked. And I think it's definitely on the pricier side for drugstore because when I think about my favorite drugstore highlighters in particular, for example, the Maybelline Master Chrome or the Strobe Light by Milani, those are amazing fucking highlighters. Amazing for drugstore. They could actually probably beat some higher end shit. And those retail for about $9.99. So I know like we're splitting hairs, it's $2, but I just don't think it's that special enough to make it $11.99. It should be $9.99. I know it sounds really stupid to kind of nitpick on it, but just in terms of pricing though, I feel like drugstore pricing lately, it's not really drugstore pricing anymore. It's actually funny because our wages are the same, yet everything else fucking goes up, so riddle me that. This highlighter is awesome. Just watch out when looking at the shades because if you're uncooked chicken like me, 202 Twilight Gleam, could be a little bit too dark, but right now though, I'd fuck me. The next product I want to talk about is this fucking, I don't even know, man. All right, so this thing. This is the Gucci.
Obscure.
It's the Le
Obscure.
Mascara. No, it's the Mascara Le
Obscure.
Okay, this retails for $35. I know, I was trying to fucking say it before and yeah, let's just say it just sounded offensive. All right, I don't need a fucking scandal, okay? I picked this up when I was shopping with Michelle Wong in Saks Fifth Avenue. I know, look at me rubbing elbows with the elite. And I remember the sales lady at Gucci comes over to me and she's like, we have a new mascara. And I just couldn't say no. I love spending my money on stupid shit. What can I say? So this mascara claims to be buildable and offer great amounts of volume at the low, low price of $35. Okay. The packaging on this boy is fucking adorable, bougie as all hell, and it makes me just feel like I'm better than everybody else when holding it. So I need something that will offer me great volume. And I have played with this mascara since I got it, and I like it. But I'm not in love with it, but I like it. I find that it is buildable. However, if you do go about 3 coats or more, you'll start to get little Taco Bell crumbles all over your face throughout the course of the day. So that's not good. So if you do 2 coats, the volume is there, but it could be better. I don't know. It's like you're kind of like in this weird area where if you do too much, it'll be a little crunchy. But if you do too little, like you'll have something. I will say though that I love how soft my lashes feel, because usually with volumizing mascara, it's very hard and pointy. So with that said, I like this mascara because I don't feel like my eyelashes feel uncomfortable. The mascara has a great longevity and I love the fuck out of the brush head. I think it really does a great job on the lower lash line because I love how it just separates things out. This is the one thing I will say, even though I wish that the volume could be better, I like that it actually separates my eyelashes out where I feel like I can actually see each lash, where I don't feel like I look like the Cynthia doll from the fucking Rugrats. Now my biggest complaint with this mascara is that it transfers like nobody's business. And it's so fucking annoying. And with that said, it actually takes also a second to dry. And so anytime I wear this mascara, I feel like I have to take an extra couple of minutes because it's inevitable that I'm gonna fuck something up and I'm just gonna have to wind up cleaning up all the fucking remnants of the fucking mascara. Ugh. Like I said, I don't love it, but I don't hate it either. Kind of falls in the middle. I like it, but could be better. It's like going on a date with somebody and you're like, oh, it was a really good time. Like maybe I should see him again. And then you see him again and you're like, this is not even worth it for the free meal. You know what I mean? Anyway, there's plenty of other good volumizing mascara that's on the market. Don't look to this one. This is not it, bitch. No. If you want a bougie mascara experience, get the Guerlain one. I think like Maxi Lash or some shit like that, whatever. The one in the all gold packaging, just get that. You'll thank me later. So anyway, lesson learned. Don't ever buy Gucci mascara ever again. But their lipsticks, on the other hand, fuck me up. They're good. Last but not least, I want to talk about the Hershey collection with Etude House. I think that's how you pronounce it. Now, funny story, when I was looking up all the links for all these wonderful products that I'm talking about, I noticed on the Etude House website that this collection is still available, but you can't get it. Meaning that they won't ship it to the US or Canada. They'll ship it to anywhere else but US or Canada. And I'm thinking to myself, I wonder why. Anyway, if you are interested and you live in the US and Canada, this is not for you, boo-boo. I'm sorry, but for all my other babies that are across the globe, I guess I could let you know if this is good or not. So without further ado, let me tell you a little bit about these products. Mind you, I purchased this collection a while back and for $80 with shipping, mind you, with shipping. It came with 2 palettes, 2 lip tinty rouge guys, and 2 brushes. So the Hershey Chocolate and the Hershey Cookies and Cream palette are tiny 6-pan palettes that have a little mirror in them, and they both have a very lovely, boring ass, warm tone chocolatey color story. The packaging honestly is fucking 10 out of 10 and it's probably the best thing about the goddamn palettes. Both palettes have 4 matte shades and 2 metallic shimmer shades. Now I really enjoyed the mattes in both of these palettes. I thought they were really wonderful and I liked how they worked very well together. They did require to be built up, but I feel like that's pretty much consistent when it comes to Asian beauty brands, is that the pigmentation is a little bit more on the lighter side. But I will say though, with some building up, it definitely has a wonderful opacity. They were easy to build up, they were easy to blend out. There was a little bit of kick up, a little bit of fallout, especially with the darker brown shades, but they worked really well together. I also loved mixing both palettes together. While you can complete a whole look with just using one palette, it's really nice to kind of mix and match with these little guys. Now the only shade I had an issue with is actually this darker brown shade right here in the little Hershey palette. That shade, one, you have to build it up, fine. But immediately after about 30 minutes, it starts to dissipate and it's actually bald. And it's insane because I put so much fucking product there. But no matter what I do, what kind of base I use, regardless, it always dissipates. And I don't know why it's that particular shade, but my eyeball fucking eats it up. So that's probably the only shitty thing I would say about the mattes. Everything else, all the longevity for the other shades, they were fine. But that one dark brown shade sucks dick for days. And it really sucks because that dark brown shade that creates any sort of depth to any of the looks that you create, that's the one shade that you have to use, and that's the one shade that disappears. So it fucking sucks. Now the shimmers, actually initially I hated them, but eventually they grew on me. At first I didn't like them because I felt like they didn't really provide a good opacity, but then over time I was like, oh, they're actually really not that bad. Now I will say that I feel like there's two different formulas though with the shimmer shades. There are two shimmer shades that were fine. I had no issues with them. This one over here and this one I had no issue with. Now the other two shimmer shades, this one and this one in the middle, are kind of different. So the weird speckly shade down here, which I know is kind of a little bit difficult to see because my lights are blowing it out, I think. This one already hit hard pan. There's no payoff with the brush, so you have to use your finger. When you do use your finger, it actually does provide a little bit of a pop, which is kind of nice, but because you're using your finger, I don't know why, but the amount of sparkles that fly across your face is alarming. So you're definitely gonna be cleaning glitter out of every fucking crack in your body for years to come because that's how much it explodes. And I hate it. I hate it for that very fucking reason. And I'm also very confused on how it hit hard pan so fucking fast considering none of the other shades have. So that's odd. Did not like that one. Too much fucking micro glitter in it. Ooh. Now the shade in the chocolate bar palette, it's actually completely the opposite, which is right up there. If anything, it's chunky. It has a beautiful opacity and it looks really, really good on the eye, but it's so flaky and chunky that you have to be careful. So when you're using your finger, it's fine, but if you use a brush, you're actually digging little craters into the eyeshadow and giant flakes are coming off of it. So that kind of really sucks about that one. Besides all of that stuff, this particular shade has really good longevity. I fucking love it. The other shade in this palette, it's hard to say if the longevity really lasts because it's only adding a little bit of sparkle to the existing look, but that micro glitter lasts for fucking ever. So I guess it does have a great longevity. Just not where you want it to be, of course. Anyway, so based on my experience with these palettes, they're okay. They're not the best thing in the world, but they're definitely not the worst. I am happy that I have them in my collection, and I see myself actually using the matte palettes quite frequently because I really do love the pigmentation in them, even though you have to build them up. They're very pretty, and they're very easy to use, but the shimmer shades, well, I wish I liked them a little bit more. So the next two products that came in the collection are these lip tint powder, these powder rouge tints, which are these colors right here. Now, these were okay. First of all, you can't tell either color apart, in my opinion. Like, there's maybe a slight difference, but they look almost fucking identical. And to be honest, these colors are not my cup of tea, hence why I'm not wearing them on my face today. They're just a little bit too jazzy for me, where it just feels like your teeth just automatically look yellow. I don't need any more extra shit in my life, so no thank you. Now, I will say that when I did apply them, I felt the formula to be incredibly hydrating. As someone who has dry lips, I didn't feel like my lips were being strangled by anything, which is really good. I just wish I liked the colors more. The wear down on them, they're okay. I think after a couple of hours, you start kind of noticing like that butthole effect, but once you kind of touch it up, it's fine. I'd say it's probably on par with a normal lipstick. So with that said, I actually really didn't mind the formula. So when I can buy stuff from them again, I will definitely check out other products in that finish because I really liked how it felt on my lips. Just unfortunate that the color didn't really work out. Oh well. And last but certainly not least, in the collection, you also get these tiny little brushes. So you get a chocolate brush, which I don't even think they have fucking names on these. No, they don't. So you get like a little chocolate bar one, and then you get the cookies and cream one. They both say Etude House on the side and no name. So one is more of like fatter pencil brush, and the other one is a shader brush. I think out of the whole collection, the brushes are my favorite things. They're really good for those who have very small, delicate, hooded eyes. Now, I don't know shit about these brushes, so I was trying to find out more information about them. Like, are they synthetic? Are they real? I'm assuming that they're synthetic, but I really have no fucking idea. I will say that they are very easy to clean. Yes, when I did clean them though, they did get a little bit frayed, but also they come with these nice little plasticky brush sleeves, so it definitely keeps the shape in place. I don't find these brushes to be hard or scratchy. They're pretty comfortable. And with that said, my favorite is obviously the pencil brush because it is definitely a fucking hooded bitch's dream to have something that small and fat. Just looks so perfect in the outer corner. Again, I think out of the whole collection, this was my favorite thing. And again, when I can order stuff from their website, I would look into a couple more brushes because I really like the fact that these are for smaller eyes, and I'm always looking for more smaller eye brushes. And with that said, that is my little fun size reviews. Let me know down below if you're interested in any of the products, or if you're gonna skip out, or if you're gonna get them, or blah, blah, blah. Let me know because I love hearing from you guys. And I wanna say thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it as always. Feel free to like, comment, comment, hit that subscribe button, it's free, and hit that bell icon for notification of all my future posts. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Discord, Patreon. Every other Thursday we have a podcast called The Miserable 3. I have another podcast called Dead and Bored, which I'll leave down in the description box below. And it's not a YouTube podcast, it's actually an audio one. Anywhere you podcast, it's fucking on. So don't worry, we got you, boo. If you want to know what is currently on my face, along with everything that I mentioned in this video, everything will be in the description box below. And I'll see you little pumpkins later. Bye.